The real crisis inside our naval industrial base isn't just necessarily an issue of empty dry docks or missing funding. Public shipyards physically have the concrete berths and the additional space to take on a backlog, especially when it comes to our attack submarine force. But legally, their hands are often tied when it comes to proprietary modern technology. This is an invisible choke point that's stalling the fleet right now, and it's a structural battle over intellectual property. The legal dispute is exactly what I wrote about in my latest Substack piece called The Shipyard Trap. I broke down some of the specific defense monopolies and how they can paralyze public infrastructure. So if you want to take a look at that, it is over on my Substack. I'll put a link below. It's worth a look. It's free. There's no paywall gimmicks or anything like that. But it does discuss how some of these specific procurement laws are keeping multi-billion-dollar hulls stuck in port. And when the Navy buys one of these multi-billion-dollar submarines, it doesn't automatically buy the rights to the digital data inside it. Private defense contractors retain, in some cases, and sometimes many cases, proprietary ownership of the critical technical data packages, some of the advanced design schematics, and specialized diagnostic software tools. This creates a massive operational trap. Public naval shipyards like Norfolk, Portsmouth, they have the physical capabilities for routine structural overhauls, but their civilian mechanics face severe legal and digital firewalls when dealing with proprietary propulsion software, advanced sensor systems, and some of the integrated combat suites. If an advanced component breaks, a public yard often cannot simply manufacture or fix or run an independent diagnostic test without waiting for proprietary contractor clearance or an official technical rep or team or multiple teams. And so that legal gridlock stalls repairs before a wrench is even turned. And that turns basic maintenance availabilities into multi-year backlogs. And sometimes that has disastrous consequences. We discussed that in our last video. And compounding the intellectual property issue is a complete collapse of our human capital pipeline. The maritime trade's required to build and maintain nuclear-powered submarines like nuclear certified welders, marine electricians, and specialized pipe fitters. That number is shrinking, and the barriers to entry for those kind of technical education programs are pretty high. And you can't fix the workforce drain just by throwing money at it. It takes up to 5 years of specialized trade training, apprenticeships, and high-level security clearances to work up one single shipyard employee to full nuclear or structural certifications. And so the massive funding bills that have been passed recently are necessary, but they can't buy back time. The human capital pipeline has a hard 5-year lead time, meaning the current labor deficit will continue to restrict submarine readiness until the turn of the decade. So when you pair an intellectual property monopoly with a 5-year training lag, you get a defense industrial base with zero surge capacity, zero. And a peacetime backlog means that if a sudden maritime conflict breaks out, the system has no capability to rapidly repair or replace losses, to return damaged hulls to the theater. Fixing the fleet requires more than physical infrastructure. It requires a complete overhaul of procurement and procurement law to strip away proprietary contractor constraints. And that's no easy solution, I get that. But clearing the backlog is not impossible. And the workforce can deliver when all of the things align. So as an example, just last week, June 10th, a Virginia-class fast attack sub, the USS Colorado, proved what the shipyards are capable of, and it wrapped up its scheduled maintenance overhaul and availability at Pearl Harbor at the Naval shipyard and returned to the fleet almost a month ahead of schedule. So a credit and a kudos to all the team there. But it's a rare critical win, but it does show when the crew, the yard craftsmen, the supply chain, when they all operate seamlessly, the timeline can be beaten. The challenge now is scaling that efficiency across a very brittle system. Stick around, read on for more over at the Substack. Otherwise, I will see you here soon.